And we're back with
More blank staring
more
Goku.
Dragon Ball shit. Did he not? Oh, because he's...
Peer into the endless void. Who could that be?
Who is
Satan?
Oh shit, I didn't actually fucking figure it out at first. I was like, who is that?
Yeah, I knew it was Piccolo.
Oh, I didn't. I heard Ogo. And I was like, whose voice is that? Where are you, Piccolo? That way.
Damn. Dramatic pose.
He doesn't point, he just fucking looks. That way.
It's that way. It's like, you gotta point this way you're going, Goku.
She's like, Goku, you're behind me. I can't fucking see where you're going.
Goku, you gotta talk more.
Oh, you have turns. It says turns remaining in the top left.
Oh, shit.
I wonder... I don't see how it would take 20 turns to go through, but maybe it's really like based off of you have to make choices. You can't do everything.
Well, I'm gonna go after Ginyu, because he owes me a body.
Goodbye, Ginyu. Oh, I totally forgot, huh? Yeah,
That's one of his
he can
abilities.
steal bodies.
He can steal your body.
That's fucking weird. So do you
Yeah.
think Ginyu, that's his original body?
I don't know. I've always thought it wasn't.
It seems to be that it wouldn't.
I always figured that wasn't his original body. He stole that body from someone else.
I mean, if you could body snatch, you could essentially live forever if you don't die in that body.
Yeah.
You just keep fucking transferring.
Which that's pretty crazy that his race can do that. And then
Oh, it's a race ability?
I think it's
for
a
him?
race ability because.
Well, if he changes body, then can he not change bodies? I mean,
Oh no, he can change because he stole Goku's body in the Saiyan saga.
yeah.
And then he was able to switch back. So it's his innate ability that he knows how to do. So maybe it's a technique that he learned.
I would think it would be
from someone. I doubt he created it himself. He didn't seem smart enough to make a soul stealing technique.
Which seems a little shitty, because if you can constantly take bodies and steal bodies and live eternally, you ought to be a smart fucker.
You'd think.
Yeah, you should. So, I want to mention this in this episode, even though it happened a couple days ago.
Senzu Bean.
Senzu Bean, get it! Don't knock him into the Senzu Bean, though. I think he might be able to utilize it. Our fan art buddy Bear
Yeah, thanks, Bear.
decided to join the Avatar Club. So Sam made individual dragon. Oh god, don't let him get the Senzu Bean. Sam made custom avatars of us and little heads of us as
You're Master
Roshi, and
I'm
Mike as Piccolo, and you're Goku.
Yeah.
But Bear decided to join the fun and make a Bulma version of them. And it's pretty fucking awesome because she studied Sam's technique for like line art style, and
Got pretty close too.
Got pretty close. It looks pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks good in general, but
Oh, no, it
it
looks
got
good
pretty
in
close
general,
to how you do yours too.
Yeah.
For like a first attempt, that's awesome.
Yeah, it turned out nice. I mean, the art's really good. Like, it was a really good drawing.
Yeah, I like Bear stuff. Even the little scribbles like you did of Stick Fight Bear.
I mean, that's how all my drawings start out. They're always like really like incoherent scribbles. Like yours aren't incoherent, but mine are. They're like people are like, I have no idea what this is. I'm like, don't worry about it. I do.
I actually prefer the scribbles and the roughness on a lot of the stuff, just because like I know it takes a lot less effort because you don't have to do the cleanup and things like that. But I don't know, something about the roughness.
I mean, I really like rough
to me.
artwork too. That's one reason why I like studying 2D animation, because if you look at those old like Disney Archive stuff,
Yeah,
like the non-cleanup versions, like Glenn Keane's stuff, it's so much fun to look at.
when the faces like still have their like cross patterns,
Yeah,
so you
so
know
the
where
cross
to put
pattern
the
and just-
eyes and face and stuff on it.
I mean, really, rough art is cool. I mean, it's to the
Yeah.
credit of an artist, though, that can take that rough work and then bring it to a final
course.
version.
That's really fucking skilled. I mean, I've always been super jealous of everyone who can do art anyway, because Bear saw I drew something for her. It was fucking horrible. But I mean, like, she was like, oh, if anyone wants to do fan art for me and blah, blah, blah. I was like, well, I can't, but here, I guess this will be a funny joke. and it's terrible, but I've always been super jealous of people who can do art, and I mean, that's part of why we're friends, because we started
drawing in 9th grade, and you're like,
Yeah.
this guy's cool. I don't know about cool, but I was doing
I
something.
didn't realize I was wrong, but
Yeah. Not cool at all.
no, never. Whoa!
Probably should have charged.
But
oh well.
I always admired people who can draw and do stuff like that, because I personally feel creative in different ways, and like obviously I do D&D and we do the channel stuff, but I always like the medium of drawing, just pencil to paper.
There's something special about it.
Yeah.
It's something that always keeps me going. Some people are like, why do you love drawing? It's like there's always something challenging about it. There's always some kind of new plateau.
Yeah. There's so many different
kind of-
styles and techniques and stuff.
And there's always like room for improvement, which is
yeah.
always kind of cool. And it's something you can do anywhere. It's not relying on a lot of materials. You just need a pencil and you need paper.
Yeah.
And that's kind of it. Everything else is just whatever. Like in terms of improving technique, I don't do a lot of long-term illustrations anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, just because they usually take a lot of time, and I can do them. But something that I found interesting is over the last couple of years, I've mostly just been doing rough sketches. But even that translates into my illustration work because all that stuff that I'm learning, all those techniques, like I already know how to illustrate my images pretty well to the point that I like.
They look fucking nice. You got your style down.
Yeah.
Just that solid style is something that I find really cool about artists. Like even if it's not the most elaborate or complex artwork in the world, it's like that is definitely your style, and it's cool to see like somebody own their interpretation of art.
Yeah. I mean, style was something that was really interesting. When you're like a young artist, you kind of just go back and forth, like, what is my style? What am I gonna be? What do I want to do? And the best advice I have for anyone that just likes to draw is don't think about it, because that's what my teachers told me, and that's how I came up with my style.
That makes sense. Yeah, go with what feels natural and what flows. Don't try to correct things. Just figure out what happens.
Yeah, and I mean, the Renaissance artists really believed in like in that they believed in imitation a lot. Like one of the ways that they learned how to draw was they would study the old masters, and they would learn like they would study like Greek and Roman art in order to get better, and they would just try and imitate it, just try and copy it. There's this weird stigma around tracing and copying when it's not a bad thing. It just depends on how you approach it. If you approach it saying, I'm doing this imitation, I'm doing this reproduction because I'm learning, I did not draw this though. This is not mine. This was created by whoever, Da Vinci or Monet. Or
I totally get that. You're trying to emulate a style and you're open about it.
Yeah, because the more that you practice other people's work, and this is what I tell my young students too that want to learn how to draw, it's like, draw the stuff that you like. When I was in elementary school, I was drawing Zelda. When I was in middle school, I was drawing Dragon Ball Z. You're
paying homage and not just stealing.
Yeah, you're learning how to draw by studying other people's art. And I mean, that's kind of what all artists do. We start out by drawing other people's stuff. We have our own stuff.
Yeah.
But eventually your style just becomes amalgamation of things that you like.
You got to you got to find your style by emulating other people's styles.
Find out what you like.
It's best to customize it yourself and do it in your own.
Yeah.
You know, but I totally get that. I also get why people get pissed off if someone is like at a con and selling trace art and shit like that.
That's unprofessional.
That's shitty.
Bullshit. Like,
in no way are we defending that.
No, that's
by saying like, guys, tracing isn't bad. It isn't bad if you're trying to use it to learn.
Yes.
But if you're trying to use it for monetary gain and shit, and then like not being cool about it, they're being like, hey, it's an homage to this person's, art style. If it's just a direct trace, it's like, nah, you're fucking up.
Yeah, direct tracing is messed up. There's actually an artist, a comic book artist at Marvel that has been accused of that for a long time.
Really?
So, a lot of their images they found, like, basically he draws over real life stuff. Like, he still makes it his own and he can still draw, but a lot of artists find it disingenuous because, like, they found images, like, where he takes stuff from porn and, like, he takes, like, their faces and expressions and just draws over them.
Really? I mean, I don't know how I feel about that because he's using it as a reference, right?
Yeah, he's using it as a
But if it's not art and it's real life, is it that bad?
It's not terrible. A lot of artists just find disingenuous because
I can see that,
when artists use reference, we use it to look at, and sometimes we might use like for body postures and stuff, and we might draw a little bit over it, but we don't draw everything. Like we really don't trace the person's face.
Okay,
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's a lack of creativity.
Yeah, it's very rotoscopish.
He's very successful. It's very rotoscopish.
Yeah.
And I personally don't have a problem with it. Like I don't like his art that much.
Yeah.
It's okay. But if it just doesn't have the same level of creativity like Oliver Copiel or like Scotty Young, I believe his name is. There's a lot of really great comic book artists. And he's just kind of one of those guys, kind of like Rob Liefeld. But except in Rob Liefeld's case, the guy who created Deadpool, he was a really young kid. He never went to art school. He can't really draw that great, but I think a lot of people harp on him too much.
Yeah.
No professional training, and he was like 18 or like something when he started, and so like his art is kind of crude. It's not that great. Everyone makes fun of him from drawing his feet and his lack of understanding proportions, but if you understand his background in art, you're kind of like, well,
Pretty good for self-taught. Pretty good for starting. Not late, but starting like. I mean, how old is he now?
Oh, he's a lot older now. He's like in his 40s. And his art's gotten a little bit better.
But he's been doing art for 20 years then.
Yeah.
20,
the problem is like
years.
when you are working in the industry, like, and you don't have that time to kind of like work on your foundations early.
Yeah.
It forces you, like, you're meeting deadlines. You're trying to do this stuff. Like, you're trying to meet this thing. You're not worried about does Captain America's chest look right.
Okay. You make bad drawing or artist habits.
You make bad habits, and then eventually it becomes a point where you can't grow out of it too.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, because that becomes your style essentially.
Exactly.
I could see that being kind of like, oh fuck, if I do it the correct way, it feels disingenuous because that's not how I learned, you know.
Right.
I get that. I can see that shit. Oh shit, was that a spirit bomb? Or what did he say that was?
Spirit ball.
Oh, spirit ball. I was like, that was pretty small for a spirit bomb. Although it is Yamcha, so I mean, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, that's a signature technique. And I know, I'm trying to remember who commented, I think it was Keith, about you need to fill in with Dragon Ball lore. Don't worry, I'll handle that.
Oh, was it Keith?
I know someone commented about Marin.
Tarkam was asking about the timeline, like where we're sitting at for the timeline.
I think in the timeline, we gotta treat this, I think, almost like it's the Dragon Ball movies, where they don't really take place in the timeline. They're like a what-if story in between certain areas.
It's like non-canon.
Yeah, non-canon.
Weird way like that.
So I would imagine that this takes place right after the movies, right before Dragon Ball Super starts, or it's like
you said after Resurrection F, right?
Yeah, I think it's Resurrection F is the one where Frieza comes back.
Okay.
So it takes place, I'd say, after that, because Whis and Beerus are characters, but there's weird things like Yamcha's like in his Saiyan Saga outfit. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you said about it being like it's probably because of his silhouette or to differentiate character models. Because yeah, you don't want two people fighting that someone's Goku or Gohan and then Yamcha looks the same, and you're like, then it becomes confusing in a fighting game when you're trying to track where your character is.
You got to make sure that the silhouettes are clear. And it's also interesting because Bulma's got like her super outfit, but then like he made a point, like, well, why does Krillin not have his hair? And it's like, well, he did eventually shave it, I think, at the end of the Buu saga. He did.
That sounds familiar.
Because like he grew it out, but I think he shaves it again at some point, which is why he's baldian. And if you watch one of our previous episodes, Yamcha actually makes a joke about that.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, there's some weird discrepancies, like with Tien's wearing a super outfit, but Android 18 is still wearing her old outfit.
Yeah.
So you got to have a little bit of suspension for disbelief, but I believe that this all kind of takes place after Super, but before like
he just called her old.
maybe before the maybe after even the Goku Black saga in Super. I don't know, because you still
haven't caught up on Super.
I still haven't caught up on Super. One of my students is really hyped about it, and
it's the current one, right?
Yeah, and I watched the two movies, and I was like, oh yeah, I still like Dragon Ball Z. Like, it's stupid, but it's so much fun at the same time too.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I guess I just been too critical about it. Like with the thing where it's like Goku can't breathe underwater, like and they're battling,
so
and then they go out to space and they can breathe just fine.
They don't.
What the fuck?
They don't have that stupid jump in logic in the movies. Like in the movies, which is just a retelling of that fight. Like the anime took the first 28 episodes to just retell those movies and not as well, and they've got like weird filler stuff.
Do the movies take on a more serious role? Like
it's got a more serious tone, and the animation's just much better.
Okay, that makes
really
sense.
High quality.
I could see how they wouldn't want to make too many jokey things.
So
if
when
they're
the series
putting in that much of a budget to tell a story through it.
Exactly. And when the series first started on Dragon Ball Super, the animation was kind of pretty low budget. I think they were just trying to get through it, but apparently it's gotten better. But it sounds like Super is kind of a blend of what was funny about Dragon Ball and what's funny about Dragon Ball Z and what the action-y parts.
Yeah.
So it's like a good blend of the two.
It seems like a lot of people are liking the action-y parts from what I'm hearing because it is a tournament thing, right?
Right. And Goku's not really the strongest anymore. Like, there's people who are stronger than Goku, so he doesn't really have that Superman complex anymore.
That's cool. I mean, the best Superman complex I think I've ever seen for fiction, and well, obviously fiction,
One Piece
is no, I was gonna say Goku.
Yeah,
he's that purity that doesn't seem like he's a goody two shoes boy, you know, like. And that's like
Superman. He's gotten that bad rap.
Yeah, I don't like Superman, but I like Goku. Like it seems like obviously they're different, but it seems like they did it right.
Goku's also
Goku.
very selfish too, unlike Superman. He wants to fight for the sake of fighting, and he will make stupid risks for that. Like, I'm gonna let Cell get more powerful because that sounds awesome. It's like, no, he's gonna blow up the planet. What about your wife and your children?
You gotta break guard with Dragon Rush. Right bumper, it's saying.
That's right. This is a tutorial. I gotta remember all the buttons are because on my fight stick. They're not all marked because usually I get used to a fighting game.
Yeah.
And that's all I have. After that, that's all I have to worry about.
How do you mark those? Is it paper printouts or?
Yeah, like I got a custom thing from, I think his name is Tech. He's on the Shoryuken forums, which is one of the main fighting game websites. Shoryuken.com. It's by the guys that run Evo. But there's a guy called Tech something, and he does custom fight stick art. So like you can like send them like your image, you could send him like the dimensions of your fight stick, and he'll give you a nice little plexiglass, and he'll give you like a reprint of your art with all the cutouts and everything.
That's tight.
So it's pretty sweet, and he doesn't charge a lot too. He charges you exactly for what it's worth, and he's extremely popular. Like, I think it's his livelihood. I think.
I mean, a lot of people don't have access to like plexiglass cutouts and custom
hard
cutting and shit like that.
Yeah, so like he does it all on his own, and it didn't take very long for this to come in either. So like when I did it, but it was years ago, and I bought what's the name? Focusattack.com is where I bought the buttons, but the fight stick I actually got that not from a contest. So Capcom Unity, their social networking website, main website, they had a contest way back in the day. It was probably like 5-6 years ago. And like if you won, you could get a Wii. And I won. I was one of like the 2 or 3 winners. I did like a Ghosts and Goblins.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I remember that.
But I didn't really want a Wii. I wanted a fight stick. So I sold my Wii for a fight stick. And my brother got me a TE2 Street Fighter fight stick, but I was like, I don't really like the art, so I'm gonna go ahead and get some cool stuff of Q from Street Fighter because he's a fucking boss.
What is TE2?
It's just a tournament edition to fight stick.
Okay.
So there was a bunch of stuff by Mad Catz back in the day, which apparently they're back now after going bankrupt, but I don't think they're still making fight sticks. They're gonna be doing like high-end computer stuff or something.
Yeah.
But they went bankrupt a little while ago.
That's not good.
And it looks like they're back in the fold. I haven't looked too much into it, but for a while there, Mad Catz, I don't know about you, they made really shitty stuff.
Oh no, I think I still have a Mad Cat controller, and the thing works like 2% of the time.
Yeah.
It was always the cool. I'll get the regular controller, and if you're on 2-player, you get the Mad Catz controller. It's like, god damn it, this sucks. I hated playing with Mad Catz controllers because it was so easy to accidentally like hit the turbo button on them and shit like that.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck, what am I doing? I can't jump. I'm just punching all the time. It's like, oh, because you hit turbo mode and the last button you hit was the punch.
Yeah. Well, we'll fight probably Kid Buu next time, guys, because it looks like we're out of time.
Yep. Next time, guys. Bebop boop.
It's nice that we're finally in a mode where we're just getting fights done instead of just holy shit, just fucking
having to deal with all of the cutscenes.
Cutscene.
I get why they do it because they want to have a story mode, but at the same time, it's like that was like 15 minutes of cutscene, guys.
Yeah,
can we just get like, can we break it up a little?
Let's break it up a tiny bit more.